So we're wrapping up week 2 with Odin. We are going into a week 3 with his training because he is still showing some signs of slight reactivity to leash pressure and some barrier reactivity up in daycare. We want him to go home super successful with the other dog in his home. We're going to be introducing a lot of out commands up in daycare around other dogs and his new friends. Really working heavily on his recall command. So when dad calls him, he's coming happy-go-lucky, getting back to him. And we'll be working on his send a crate. So when dad picks up next week, he will be happy to go back to his home, but be comfortable staying in his crate while dad is going back to work and just getting his new life started at home after his week 3 transition. He's doing really well with the leash pressure. So we have been introducing prong and training collar pressure on him. What we saw last week in week 1 was him shutting down and being a little uncomfortable with leash pressure. So this week we're introducing new equipment to help combat some of that reactivity and discomfort.
She's still reciprocating. He's not being super rude. He couldn't do damage right now, so I'm allowing it. But it's knowing like that give and take, when to intervene versus when to not intervene. Because now he's learning how to positively socialize. Like that, if he's gonna go on top of her again, I don't like that. She's trying to bite her own tail, did you see that? Good boy, Odin, good job, yes! So now he learned how to disengage on his own and walk away from the situation. He can come back, I didn't out him. He just did that on his own, so I praised him for it.
Good boy.
Does all this stuff make sense so far?
So far.
Perfect. Because with socialization, especially when you have a hyperactive dog that can't necessarily process very well on his own, you gotta start small with dogs that match that temperament. If the dog that he's interacting with is not having a good time, he's not necessarily learning how to interact with the other dogs that are.
Right. So we just wrapped up Odin's working demo with Dad. Mrs. Zachary was just working with Odin just to get some better handling on what he's gonna be going home with his leash pressure, making sure he knows what equipment Odin's gonna be going home with and make sure he is comfortable using said equipment. Odin did work really well for seeing his dad for the first time in over 2 weeks. He was really excited and we just wanted to work Odin through Zachary handling him and getting to know what more we need to work on in the upcoming week. So his 3rd week has been a lot better. We focused heavily on now the listening to you portion. Mm-hmm. The obedience is for him, this week is for you. Mm-hmm. So working on his recalls to get him back to you, she's been killing that part for you, so it's been great. Mm-hmm. Working on him to send the crate, staying in crate, resting in his crate. I know he's good at home, but we want to keep him on the right path. Mm-hmm. Working on his out command, so removing him from anything we want to correct. So from your other dog, not your other dog, but your roommate's dog, the door, yourself, if you're doing something and you don't physically want him there, out removes him. Okay. We worked him heavy on the dog-to-dog socialization, so he won't be hanging out with your roommate's dog. Mm-hmm. That's going to be one thing we go over today. We don't want them to have too much interaction. We want to keep his obedience, and then her thing. So we want to make sure he's doing the work and focusing on you before we let them go back to being socialization.
Keep him in my room when I'm not there, other than letting him out.
To go potty? Yeah. Okay. Just so he's not feeding off of her. Okay.
Heel. Odin.
So what I was just told, and it actually helped tremendously with him, when he's doing this, just walk. Just honestly, just walk right now. Okay. Don't look at him, just walk. Because he's focusing on you, focusing on him.
Yeah. What?
That's his sensitivity.
Yeah.
We're not going to ignore that, but we aren't going to feed that either.
Yeah, because he needs to also be watching you and say if you accidentally step on his foot, he's kind of pushing into you. He's trying to get into your way.
Good boy.
That looks perfect. Okay. All right. So now that he's calmed a little bit down, why don't you go ahead, slow to a halt, like what I told you last week, slow to a halt and ask him for that sit as you take that stop.
Oh, sit.
Perfect, yes.
So he sometimes goes into a down. So how to try to So how to reinforce that sit more is when you go to stop, do a lure up. You don't have to have a treat at that moment, just kind of go sit.
Okay.
Or pick your battles.
All right, so with the transition, with wrapping up the transition, it went really well, but some key points was Odin was giving his dad a little bit of a hard time with sitting when trying to go get him from the kennel and leash him up. He was just very excited, and that energy was not coming down at all. And so that was very frustrating for the owner. But we worked him through that. We told him how to work through that. So we eventually got him to sit, got him leashed up, walked him out of the kennel. We also really wanted that 3rd week for his recalls and outs. And so that's what we did for this transition. We outed him from food and from people. I say he was phenomenal with all of those. All right, and then I just wanted to make sure Zach knew when he goes home, he should be working on taking his time and having patience when pulling Odin out of the kennel. I know it can be very frustrating when trying to get him out of the kennel and him just not letting you put the training collar or the prong on. So I just have patience and keep working it with him and letting him know he has to sit and wait and let me put that on before he can get out of the kennel. It should become a pattern after that, and he'll start realizing like very soon that he will have to be calm every time or he will not be able to come out of the kennel. And we are so excited to see Zach and Odin for their follow-up. We have a couple more things that we do want to keep reinforcing, and if they have any questions, then we will be able to work on that. But I'm excited to see how far Odin will go with being at home for his 1st week.